I'm Alan Spears with Occupy Democrats, and in a massive bombshell discovery, we have just learned that the federal judge Aileen Cannon, who most famously dismissed the criminal case of Donald J. Trump earlier this July, well, she has found herself in, yet again, another scandal and is in total damage control. Now, there have been a whole wide variety of accusations levied against Cannon, saying that she is indeed very much affiliated with the MAGA movement and is hardly capable of being impartial, and it would seem that the latest story is only further lending credence to that notion. In an article written by Marilyn W. Thompson and Alex Mirjeski of ProPublica, we have just learned that federal judge Aileen M. Cannon, the controversial jurist, that's an understatement, who tossed out the classified documents criminal case against Donald Trump in July, failed to disclose her attendance at a May 2023 banquet funded by, drumroll please, a conservative law school. Cannon went to an event in Arlington, Virginia, honoring the late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, according to documents obtained from the Law and Economics Center at George Mason University. At a lecture and private dinner, she sat among members of Scalia's family, fellow Federalist Society members, and more than 30 conservative federal judges. Organizers billed the event as, quote, an excellent opportunity to connect with judicial colleagues. Yeah, it's more than likely just one particular type of judicial colleague. Now, a 2006 rule intended to shine a light on judges' attendance at paid seminars that could pose conflicts or influence decisions requires them to file disclosure forms for such trips within 30 days and make them public on the court's website. Now, it should be noted this is not the first time Cannon has failed to fully comply with the rule. In 2021 and 2022, Cannon took week-long trips to the luxurious Sage Lodge in Prairie, Montana, for legal colloquiums sponsored by George Mason, which named its law school for Scalia thanks to $30 million in gifts that conservative judicial kingmaker Leonard Leo helped organize. Now, these are not just simple lodges you stay in for a few bucks a night. These are high-end luxury lodges that cost a small fortune to stay at for any amount of time. Current rates for standard rooms at Sage Lodge can exceed $1,000 per night, depending on the season. With both Montana trips, Cannon's required seminar disclosures were not posted until NPR reporters asked about the omissions this year as part of a broader national investigation of gaps in judicial disclosures. Cannon did not respond to repeated requests for comment. But really, it's not very surprising that these MAGA judges are not going to respond to requests for information. They know they're in the wrong, and they just simply don't care. Now, in response to questions from ProPublica, the clerk in the Southern District of Florida wrote in an email that Cannon had filed the Sage Lodge trips with the federal judiciary's administrative office, but had, quote, inadvertently, not taken the second step of posting them on the court's website. She explained that, quote, judges often do not realize they must input the information twice. Is the notion of having to disclose your expenses twice too difficult or too challenging for Judge Cannon? Perhaps she should step down. Now, Cannon's annual disclosure form for 2023, which was due in May and offers another chance to report gifts and reimbursements from outside parties, has yet to be posted. Now, Cannon reported the 2 Montana trips on her annual disclosure forms, but the required 30-day privately funded seminar reports had not been posted. In 2021, Cannon incorrectly listed the school as George Madison University. I hardly doubt that was a mistake. Now, the court's administrative office declined to say if she requested a one-time extension to give her until August 13th to file. A spokesperson would not discuss whether she met the deadline or the statutes of her disclosure, which must be reviewed internally. Now, Cannon's performance during almost 4 years of a lifetime appointment has already drawn criticism from lawyers, former federal judges, and courtroom observers who told ProPublica that she doesn't render timely decisions and has made unpredictable rulings in both civil and criminal matters. And again, as a reminder, on July 15th, she threw out the case brought by special counsel Jack Smith that alleges Trump mishandled classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago residence. Cannon called Smith's appointment unconstitutional since he was not nominated by the president and approved by the Senate. Now, Smith is appealing to the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, and Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington has asked the court to remand her decision and replace her. So all of this is to say that Cannon is clearly a judge who has been compromised with regard to her values and her ability to render impartial verdicts. Cannon clearly has incredibly deep ties to very conservative people and organizations who are more than willing to spend a ton of money to get to know her and network. And it really isn't surprising either that she is absolutely stonewalling the case against Donald Trump and dragging her feet wherever she can. She's in Donald Trump's pocket. But perhaps this failure to disclose these gifts and expenditures is just the first of many dominoes to fall that will inevitably lead to Cannon's replacement or hopefully disbarment. Either way, this is once again yet another controversy for Donald Trump and his immediate allies, and just further proof that Republicans, they're no good. Now, there is a ton of other information in this article all about Cannon's various failures to disclose information and shady dealings, but if you're interested and want to read for yourself, visit ProPublica and give them your support. And as always, please remember to register to vote if you haven't already, and if you have, mark your calendars, Tuesday, November 5th, we are going to see a big blue wave.